Hello everyone, this is SEC Fanatic and I am your host, Matthew Johnson. I hope that wherever you are, however you're listening to this, that you are having just a great day, whatever day you're listening to this. So let's go over week 3 of SEC football. And let's start out with Kentucky. They took care of Murray State 48-10. I don't think anyone really saw an issue with that, didn't see that happening. Tennessee had their first shutout of the year with, or rather they gave their first shutout of the year, beating UTEP 24-0. Georgia naturally took care of Middle Tennessee 49-7. Vanderbilt lost a close one to Notre Dame, number 8. Notre Dame actually 22-17 was the score. And I'm actually kind of proud for Vanderbilt for being able to go into Notre Dame and being able to pull that off. So credit to Vanderbilt on that one. Arkansas showing that they are definitely not SEC caliber this year, or at least the SEC caliber that we expect them to have. They drop to North Texas 44-17 at Arkansas. So a really disappointing loss and not what you want heading into SEC play against Auburn next week. Florida taking care of someone that Arkansas lost to 48-10 over Colorado State. South Carolina and Marshall's game was canceled due to Hurricane Florence, and of course anyone who is out there in the Carolinas or who has suffered from that hurricane, best wishes to you all and your family. Our thoughts and prayers over here from Alabama are with you. Missouri and Purdue, Missouri edging it out, only 3 points over Purdue, 40-37. Mississippi State beating Louisiana Lafayette 56-10, and Texas A&M, after their heartbreaking loss, turning things around, getting Louisiana Monroe taken care of 48-10. All right, so the two games from last week that I really want to talk about. First one, Alabama and Ole Miss. I just want to touch on this real quickly. Alabama handled Ole Miss so much more than I expected, especially after that first play where Ole Miss goes in and scores right off the bat. I knew that Alabama was going to win. I didn't doubt that. But for Alabama to win in the way that they won, so dominating, I did not expect that. I expected Ole Miss's offense to put up more points than they did. But credit to Alabama for showing Ole Miss's true colors there. The final score in that game was Alabama taking care of Ole Miss with a final score of 62-7. Auburn LSU. This one, being an Auburn fan, was a heartbreaker for me, but I mean, credit to LSU. They came in, it was very hot. It felt like over 100 degrees down there on the field, although I'm sure both teams were really used to it. Auburn didn't seem like it, actually. They seemed fatigued by the fourth quarter. I don't think you could call the defense elite anymore. I think they've lost that status after the game. Jarrett Stidham, some people are saying that some people aren't liking Jarrett Stidham anymore after the game. I think he had an off game. I think it was an uncharacteristic game. I don't think it's going to be normal. The reason why I say the defense cannot be elite anymore is because their defensive backs have just been flat out awful, and they've been relying on the front, and they don't have depth back there in the backfield either. And they're relying on their front seven, and as you see during LSU, when the front seven can't protect you, I mean, LSU's not a pass-first team. I mean, yes, they pass a lot, but they aren't like an Ole Miss who wants to pass on you all the time and doesn't really have an established run game. I mean, LSU isn't built to pass. They dropped 7-man protections all the time against Auburn. They had 7 guys blocking. That doesn't leave, but if you have 7 guys protecting, quarterback, running back, then you have only upwards of 3 receivers, sometimes 4, going out there to actually catch. So really, really disappointing effort from the backfield of Auburn. So I definitely give credit to LSU for doing what they did and winning in a last-second field goal walk-off style in Jordan-Hare, snapping that 14-game, 13-game streak. Very, very impressive, and I think LSU is showing that they have the potential to be one of the better teams, which is not something I know I expected coming into the season. But again, one of the more fun things about college football is that you do get these little unexpected turns. So let's move on to taking a look at next week. Georgia plays Missouri, two offenses that should do really well. However, Missouri's defense, of course, is a concern to me, and so I think that with Missouri's defense being so bad, I don't think that Missouri's going to be able to pull through. Ole Miss is going to come off of being walloped and try to do the walloping this week when they play Kent State. South Carolina will return after an accidental bye week to play Vanderbilt. Tennessee will play Florida, and LSU will return back home to play Louisiana Tech. The games that I want to talk about, really two in particular, I just want to touch on Mississippi State and Kentucky. I think that this game in Kentucky shows where these two teams are. I think that if Kentucky is able to win, I think they show that Kentucky is actually going to be a good team this year. Maybe by Kentucky standards at least. Maybe they aren't going to win the SEC East, but I think that Kentucky can really show that Mark Stoops has brought about a return to this program this year with a win against Mississippi State. Whereas if Mississippi State wins, I think this is their first confirmation game. We've all so far this year kind of just assumed that Mississippi State is good, like a lot of people just assumed Auburn was going to be good. And with Auburn, you kind of saw that maybe there's a little bit of a mistake there. Now, with Mississippi State, I think that there's a chance. I think that this is the game where they prove against SEC play that they have the capability to win against not even a great opponent, just a solid opponent. So I think that'll be a key game to watch out for next week. And then Texas A&M and Alabama, of course, the game of the week. It'll be on SEC, on CBS. The big matchup, Texas A&M almost taking down Clemson, and then Alabama has, of course, just steamrolled everyone. I think this is Alabama's first true test, maybe their only true test for a while, maybe even until the SEC championship. I don't know. Texas A&M has looked good. Alabama, though, has made some teams that have looked good look terrible. So it'll definitely be something to watch for, definitely be a game that I think will determine the rest of the season. Is Alabama going to be a dominant team or not? I think this is where that all gets written this week when Alabama hosts Texas A&M. So that's going to be it for this week's preview. Thank you guys for listening. Join me next week and we'll take a look at everything we've just previewed and see how it goes. All right, this has been SEC Fanatic. Thanks for listening and God bless.